I received a load of dog tags, so I've decided today I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to try and do one of these and maybe one of the dog bows. I don't know yet. I'll see how this one comes out first. So I'm going to just show you the process and show you if it comes out alright. So here's my Cricut. I've got the Cricut Maker and I love it, it's beautiful. It's the champagne one. And if I open it up, inside I have already the engraving tool already loaded in my clamp B, and I've already got the white 4 wheels pushed over to the right hand side, which is really important when you're engraving. Now when you're doing engraving, you need to make sure that your positioning of your item on the mat, so i.e. my little dog tag, is precise. So normally to do that you would insert a picture of the item. So I've browsed the images of paw prints on Cricut Design Space and I just cannot find the paw prints that match the same type of paw. So that's the paw there, and then when you look at Cricut Design Space and you look at the paws, they're all like not quite like as narrow as they come in. I was going to use this one or this one, but they're not quite as narrow, and then you run the risk, or even this one, run the risk that your text will run off the design. So I thought I would try something else. So what I've actually done, when you can see here, is I've measured using a ruler. I've measured the widest part of this across from there to there, which was like 0.9, and from, not including the hole, from the top to about halfway down, and that was like 0. Whatever it was. And then I've measured this smallest part, and then from the middle, from that part down, and I've created basically 2 rectangular items or shapes. Then I've joined them together and I've attached them, and that's what I'm using as my template for my paw print. So that such is my paw print. So that's the widest part up there, and then as it comes narrow, that's the narrow part of the paw. And then I've created my text, and then it's a case of you place that text on and you make sure it fits. It looks that bit too tight as it gets to the bottom, so if my sizing is slightly out, we're going to have issues. And before I drag it on, I'm just going to make it smaller this way, otherwise I might mess up my shape. And now I'm going to drag it on. Sort of looks like it just about fits. So now we're going to make it. Right, so what I've had to do to make it come onto one mat is the actual box, you make it so it's a drawer, and then when you go to make it, they're 2 separate items. So then what you do is you drag your box. So the box I've dragged right down to the corner of the 2 ones, and then you get your text and you drag your text in and make sure it fits and it's within that box. You see? So I might just bring it over slightly, and then highlight the bigger box, hit the 2 dots and it comes up, hide selected, and then all you're left with is the text. Now we need to stick this onto the mat. So we're going to stick it on the one, which is how we put it on the Cricut Design Space, and we need to make sure you stick it on the face down, so the side you want to engrave is how you is what's basically facing up, and I'm trying to stick it precisely down. So I'm just going to check that positioning against what's on the phone. Okay, so before we go on to make it, you need to make sure you stick this down and I use masking tape. And obviously we're working with quite a small area, so if it's going to overlap, we probably need to cut over it twice, just to make sure that the engraving goes through nice. And sticking it down, just make sure that it doesn't move about on the mat as the engraving tool is going over it. So the engraving is probably going to go through this masking tape, which is probably why we're going to go over it twice, so it won't take long. Okay, I've just stuck down the tag onto the mat, and now we're going to feed it into the machine. So you place it into the grooves. Got my phone ready. We hit next, and it's picked up that it's a Maker. So now I want to select stainless steel, but because it thinks we're going to draw, it's saying we're incompatible. So I'm going to have to go back and completely remove that drawing part of the design and just keep the engraving section, because it doesn't think we can draw on stainless steel, which we obviously do not want to do. So now that we've placed the design, I'm going to go back and just remove that. So the only way I got that to work was to make the box as an engrave, and then I hid it. Then I can select my stainless steel. It's saying to make sure you load tools, make sure the engraving tool is in clamp B, which it is. The mat is loaded. Then we have to press the flash in go. What it's now doing, it's now trying to detect the design and detect the tool. Okay, we unload the mat. Then what you see now is there's loads of little bits on here. So what I do is I'll get some of the masking tape and I'll use that to press. It's a first attempt. I don't know what's gone on here, but it seems to have all bundled up and it hasn't engraved or moved around. It's just sort of bundled it all up in one corner. So I don't know if that's because it got stuck and this was moving around. So I'm going to get another one and we're going to try that again. Okay, I think I have figured out the mistake. It's moving around way too much, way more than I thought it would, because it's so small. So you have to completely cover the tag with masking tape and completely make sure that it's stuck down. And I've gone all the way around, because you can always go over the engraving again. So now that's what I'm doing this time. And make sure, because the engraving tool, I think it's working so hard, it's pushing it around. So we're going to give that another go. Okay, we've just done this twice. We've gone over this twice. Let's see how it's turned out. So you can see it's gone completely over the masking tape. We're going to take the masking tape. Let's peel that off. Take that one. I hope it's worked. So apart from it being a bit close to the edge, on this occasion. It's actually come out. So the trick is to make sure it's completely covered. So there's a dog tag, and there is the engraving on the back. That is the one I've finally done, and there's the one that I messed up. But practice definitely makes perfect when it comes to engraving, because I definitely want to do more of these. So I might do some more research online how to get the perfect engraving or perfect positioning. So there is definitely a knack to getting the lining up of a engraving spot on. I did also receive a new tool, but I haven't had time to try it, and I won't try it on this occasion. I'll try it on another day. But this is a engraving enamel marker, so that's to go over the enamel pen, but I will try that another time. Any help, tips or suggestions, anything that you can recommend to make engraving easier, to make it more accurate, then please comment down below, let me know. I hope you've found some parts of this video helpful. Hope it stops you making the same mistakes I've made. And thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.